The popular Democrat senator, whose anti-corruption stance cost him his party's nomination for president but led to the passing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Estes Kefauver was born in Madisonville, Tennessee on July 26, 1903, and was introduced to politics early on in his life when his father, Robert, was elected as mayor of his hometown. He received a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Tennessee in 1924 before proceeding to Yale Law School, from which he graduated cum laude in 1927. After practicing law for 10 years in Chattanooga, Tennessee, he became interested in politics, losing the election into the Tennessee Senate in 1938, but gained a bigger prize when Sam D. McReynolds, the U.S. congressman representing Tennessee's 3rd Congressional District, died in 1939, and Estes Kefauver was elected to replace him as a Democrat. As one of the few Democrats from Tennessee elected to Congress during Franklin D. Roosevelt's time in office, he distinguished himself by supporting the president's New Deal legislation. It was during his time in the House of Representatives that he began to lead campaigns for legislation against monopolies and economic corruption. His progressive positions on those issues put him in conflict with E.H. Crump, the most powerful man for the Democrat Party in Tennessee, when he decided to run for Senate. Whilst he would defeat incumbent Senator Tom Stewart in the primaries and the subsequent election in 1948, he had marked himself as an enemy of the custodians of the Democrat Party machine. In 1952, when he ran against Harry Truman for the Democrat Party presidential nomination, he defeated the president in a shock victory in New Hampshire, causing Harry Truman to withdraw his bid for re-election, having already served 2 terms following the death of FDR in 1945. Even though Estes Kefauver would win 12 of the 15 primary contests and 3 million more votes than Illinois Governor Adlai Stevenson II, at the time, winning the primaries didn't guarantee the nomination. Unfortunately for Estes Kefauver, this allowed his political enemies to deal him a fatal blow in the backroom deals of the Democrat Party convention in Chicago. The party bosses and arbiters of machine politics like President Harry Truman would choose the more amenable Stevenson to be their flag bearer at the 1952 elections, an injustice that was punished by the landslide defeat of Stevenson by Dwight D. Eisenhower in the November contest, returning the Republicans to the White House for the first time in 20 years. How did Estes Kefauver's anti-crime crusade help the passing of civil rights legislation in 1964? Well, in 1950, the Democrat Senate Majority Leader Scott Lucas was in a tight race for his seat in Illinois and asked Senator Kefauver to keep his Senate investigation of the mafia quiet until after the election. Estes Kefauver didn't comply, and that investigation exposed the Chicago police in a document theft scandal. The resulting ramifications cost Scott Lucas votes and would lead to his defeat in a tight race. The winner? Well, that was the great Republican orator and later Senate Minority Leader Everett McKinley Dirksen, the man whose compromise amendment with Democrat Senate Majority Leader Mike Mansfield ended the 54-day filibuster by Southern senators of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, allowing that landmark legislation to pass. Also, anytime you see or hear an advert for any drug on television or radio in the United States and the elaboration of its side effects and effectiveness, you can thank Senator Kefauver for that, as is mandated by the Kefauver-Harris Amendment of 1962 to the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. He died on August 10, 1963, after suffering a heart attack 2 days earlier. His wife, Nancy, was named as the first head of the Art in Embassies program in November 1963 by President John F. Kennedy, his last ever presidential appointment.